All right, we're back with the 88 Chevy. I haven't recorded any of the removal, but I do have the rear end removed. We're getting ready for this 14 bolt semi float 9.5 inch that I had a Eden posi track installed. That was going to go in here. I was waiting for this. I'm waiting for the rest of the brakes, but that could go on whenever I put it on. Anyways, so for the 10 bolt, when I removed it, I took the 10 bolt only out. I did. This is very important to note. I kept the yoke and I transferred it to my 14 bolt. Now, the one thing I do not like what the shop did is that they did not include the dust cover that originally comes on these yokes, on every yoke, not just the 14 bolt, not just the 10 bolt. Every yoke has a dust cover, and they told me that they couldn't because it would interfere with the seal. But I think they did a bad job with the seal because there's a gap between the case and the seal. So I don't know. I know it seals up properly in the pinion, the yoke, but it doesn't seal up right here. It's supposed to be flat, no gap. But I called them and they said they were warranty if anything happens. So I'm gonna run it like that, and you know, something happens, I'm gonna take their word into it. But the reason I did that is that if you keep the yoke off your 10 bolt and you transfer it to the 14, what it allows you to do is to run the exact same drive shaft that's back there without changing the joints. You can just use the same joints. That's the important part, because if you keep the 14 bolt one, you have to do conversion yokes and they're weaker and yada yada yada. This makes it a lot easier and they're interchangeable. Splines count are the same. So I kept that, and then I kept the brake lines. You see them right here. There's one right there, one over there. I kept the brake lines because they do fit the 14 bolt. The only thing I don't have for that 14 bolt is the little lever, the one right there you see on the floor. I'll show you. This guy right here. I don't know if I could use this or I have to source one from a 14 bolt, but that's what it is. Now, a lot of people ask, how do you take the brake lines out? Well, the brake lines are held in by these little clips right here. There's 3 of them all around. You just have to press them in and they just slide out. The width of the leaf springs for the standard duty trucks is the same width as the 14 bolts HD leaves, which I have over here on my mess. They're the same width. The only difference is that the HD leaves have 5 leaves, whereas the standard ones have 4 leaves. But I'm gonna keep them just in case I decide to run them down the road. Maybe put some new bushings and all that. But for now, I'm gonna run the exact same leaf springs that I had because I'm lazy. I don't know if you noticed, but that's my Milwaukee under hood light, which I'm using down here, is being clamped from perch to perch, and it's beautiful. It lights up the entire rear end. I kept the brake lines. I asked on the forums if I could use these brake lines on the little drum cylinders, and some people were like, yeah, they should have enough slack to where maybe stretch them out a little bit and they'll fit both sides evenly. But that's pretty much it where I'm at right now. I'm gonna run everything how it was. I'm not gonna change anything right now. I'm just gonna slap the 14 bolt on and test it out because there is a warranty and I need to see if this 14 bolt was built properly. Anything else in the future, like drop shackles or drop perches, whatever, I could do in the future. But for now, I need to put this 14 bolt back on. Remove the old 10 bolt and put the 14 bolt right in its place. Oh, the other thing you will need is that you cannot use your 14 bolts little clamshells. You can't use these. They're way too narrow, and the 14 bolts is a little bit wider. So you need to make sure that if you take the 14 bolts, you get this from the donor truck, because you won't be able to use the old one. And I know a lot of people run into that issue down the line. I read that in the forums, and that's what they said. But so right now I have everything I need to get this truck running again. Pretty much it just needs the rear end, and then it backfires when I accelerate, but I can figure that out down the road when I'm able to drive it and test it. If you realize, I did put new studs all around, so I'll have that, and it's gonna be a 6 lug now. I have to change the front out to a 6 lug, but that's for another time. I'm gonna keep these tires as testing tires, and I have a set of rims that I'm gonna put a pair of tires on just to drive it around and test it. After that, I'll move into the front and do all the suspension, the the drop, and you know, we'll continue where we left off. But all right, guys, that's all I had. It's just very simple to swap out these rear ends. Make sure that the 14 bolt you get is a 2-wheel drive. A 4-wheel drive is way too wide, it won't work. It has to be a 2-wheel drive to a 2-wheel drive, or a 4-wheel drive to a 4-wheel drive. That way it's perfect, almost seamless factory. All right, if you have any questions, leave it in the comment. I'll be able to answer as much as I can. I think I covered everything you need. Make sure you try to keep as much as you can. Reuse the old yoke. Get the new clamshells. And you are able to use the brake lines. All right, guys, have a great day.